Hello and welcome to the United Stand. I'm apologise, it still says 1-1. I wish it was 1-1 and we were in extra time where many of us thought we were going to be. It's finished 2-1 to Bristol City, and as I look at the Bristol City fans on the pitch, a massive night for them and a massive embarrassment for Manchester United. There's only us to blame. I mean, I'm looking at the live comments as they fly by there and people are putting it on the players, and that would be really naive to do that. Of course the players are responsible, and of course both goals were totally preventable and both came down the right hand side, which Bristol City quite rightly exploited time and time again. Darmian was had on toast more times than a can of baked beans. He is atrocious. He cannot, I said it when the team news came out, Darmian, what is he playing for? I mean, is Twansibi injured? Is there anybody who can play at right back? Because Darmian does offer nothing going forward and he's awful defensively. He was at fault for basically both goals. He had a part in them. But the big thing, it's not just Darmian. I think McTominay he's a young kid. I'm not going to blame McTominay, but both goals, he maybe could have tracked the runners, but he's a kid. He's a kid. If you play a kid, that's going to happen. The left back on the first goal goes all the way from left back right the way through. What a finish, but who's tracking the run? And then that last goal there, we're meant to have a good defence. We're meant to have a good defence and they end up with a chance 5 yards out in a one-on-one. How many times has Mourinho at Manchester United had everybody back as a defence? What were we doing? Where was everybody? The arrogance and the just lack of defensive discipline to allow, with basically the last kick of the game, somebody to be in a one-on-one situation is utter shambolic, utter disgrace. I mean, fair play to Bristol City. Their first goal was very good. Their game plan was very good. And they certainly deserve to win the game. I'm not taking that away from them. We've got to take it. But from a Manchester United point of view, quite rightly, many people said that team that started should have been enough. You know, Pogba's on the pitch, Martial's on the pitch, Zlatan's on the pitch, Rashford's on the pitch, Mkhitaryan was given an opportunity. He didn't do anything. Jared Pesselman's made a contribution. Great for Bristol City. They deserved it. And we again were shit. It's time to change the play style and tactics of the club. Defeat is only on Mourinho. And I'm glad somebody has said that, because I'm a big fan of Jose Mourinho. But I've got to say that you can blame the players, and I think both goals lacked defensive discipline, and you can't blame Mourinho for the goals. The individual goals were terrible defensively. There's no discipline, there's no tracking of the runners, and that is a disgrace. And also the players should be switched on enough. How many times did balls bounce off us or passes go astray? That's on the players. But the big thing was, I actually thought Manchester United were good in the last 20 minutes when Lukaku came on and then when Zlatan came off. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, whether he's got a future at Manchester United or not, I was very happy when we signed him. I really like him. He's a self-professed lion and all that jazz. But the reality is, said it last season, countless times, Zlatan cannot play as a number 9. He can't play as a number 9. Bristol City were playing with their defensive line virtually on the halfway line because they knew there was no ball over the top, because Zlatan's got no pace. And then when we did get into the box, Zlatan's hanging around on the D. Luke Shaw's waiting to put a cross in the box. Zlatan is walking into the box from the D. He looked unfit. He looked rusty. I'm not saying he's finished because he just doesn't look fit enough. But he should never be playing as a number 9. Lukaku comes on and straight away the Bristol City defence goes back 20 yards and suddenly Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Mkhitaryan, when they came on, they've got some space. That is on Mourinho. If he can't see that, and he saw it last season, you can't play Zlatan as a number 9. So for all the good players we started with, Pogba, this, that and the other, if they haven't got the space to play because we're being pressed, and that's why Bristol City had so much of the ball in our final third, because they were basically playing on the halfway line, winning it back, and then they're straight on the attack. Most teams, if you've got Lukaku especially, but most teams, whether it's Morata at Chelsea or what City do, most defensive lines are between the halfway line and the penalty box, quite far back. Bristol City were on our halfway line. Anderlecht did it to us at Old Trafford last year. Bournemouth did it. Because Zlatan as a number 9, you've got no fear of the ball over the top. And it stunted Pogba. Pogba's been brilliant this season. He was bang average tonight because half of his game disappears with Zlatan as the number 9. He can't play the ball over the top. He can't hit the channels with the ball. He's always got to play it into Zlatan's feet, which makes us very static and very slow. But that does not take away from the last 10-20 minutes. Their keeper made some really good saves from Lukaku. A header, one low, good goalkeeper saves. Romero had a bad game today. Don't think he could have done much about the goals, certainly the first one. Darmian was shocking. Lindelof and Rojo were okay. I thought Luke Shaw did quite well. Pogba should be doing better against the Championship side. He's a £90 million midfielder. He's not come back from an injury. He's come back from a suspension. He should have had a better game. He was sloppy at times. McTominay's a kid. I'm not going to throw McTominay under the bus. I like the way he tries to pass forward. He should attract the runners, but he's a kid. That's on Mourinho. You know, I want him to play the youth. I'm not gonna have a go at him. Rashford nearly scored a world-class goal in the first half with a long shot. Apart from that, wasteful again. Final ball, not good enough. Rashford's a kid. Rashford's, you know, it's unfair to pick on Rashford. He's a kid. I think he's just going through a bad run like a kid. Martial, I actually thought Martial had a good game. People will say, well, he didn't score. He put one on a plate for Zlatan, which should have been a goal, which would have been an assist. He was getting fouled a lot. It was a very physical game, but most of the time Martial retains the ball, rotated the ball. Lukaku did really well when he came on. Zlatan looked bad, apart from the free kick, and I'm glad he scored it. Zlatan looked bad. Mkhitaryan had a lot of space in that game, and he did some good things, but then he did some bad things, like heavy touches and bad passes. Ultimately, a collective, Manchester United should be very, very embarrassed. What does it mean for Manchester United in the larger context of things? I tell you what, there's part of me, I don't know what you lot think, there is part of me that's quite not happy, but you know what? The League Cup, what is the League Cup? What is the League Cup? It's a piece of silverware, but I wouldn't want to win the League Cup anyway this year and nothing else, and Mourinho at the end of the season say, well, I've won a trophy. So at least that's been removed. The League Cup's not there. We're not going to win the League Cup. So if the League Cup was going to be his, oh, I've won a trophy thing, then a part of me thinks, you know what? But I still want to be in it. It's still bloody embarrassing to lose to Bristol City right before Christmas. It's still embarrassing that every rival fan is going to be all over us for the next few days. It's embarrassing that we're out of another trophy, out of another tournament. We're out of the league. We've basically got the FA Cup and the Champions League. That's what. But what I would say, and I kept saying it throughout the game, and I'm sure many of you will agree with this. We are a banter club at the moment. You're right. What I would say at the moment is this game was very indicative of what the problem with Manchester United is. We've got a huge squad, but it's not got enough quality in it. You know, Darmian, the Blind experiment. How many people said Blind can play as a CDM? That midfield got dominated today. That midfield got dominated today by Bristol from pretty much the 90 minutes of the game. They were running through us. There was, you know, every goal that was scored, of the two, granted, were not from their strikers. It was from people bombing on from left back, from the midfield. They weren't being tracked by our midfield. I thought Daley Blind, I know he went off injured. He was rubbish. He's not quick enough as a centre defensive midfielder. The best thing he did was he stopped a certain goal in the first half with a brilliant tackle. But that's Blind's position. I think Blind's a left-sided centre-back. He's not a midfielder. As we've already discussed, McTominay and Pogba. Darmian is atrocious. Sell him to Italy. Send him back. He should not have started today. Every time he was in a one-on-one, he got skinned. He can't go forward, so what can he do? He should not have played today. But that's the problem with United. We've got a massive squad, but it's full of average players. It's the deadwood. As many fans say, we've got too much deadwood. He's got to get rid of the deadwood. And what he's also got to do, he's got to buy in January. This nonsense that was coming out of Keegan, I think, who writes for Manchester Evening News or somewhere like that, saying that United are not going to sign anybody in the transfer window unless something great comes up. Tonight proves it. We're miles off being, we're only going to go and buy somebody who's going to massively improve us. We've got problems. I would consider Ross Barkley, because you might dislike Ross Barkley, or you might dislike a Dendoncker or someone like that. I'd buy them because we are massively in trouble. The midfield is, we struggle without Pogba. We struggled with Pogba tonight. We've basically got Pogba, Matic, a kid, and an out-of-form Herrera, and then you've got Fellaini, who's probably going, Carrick, who's right at the end of his career. We need two really good centre midfielders in there. I'd go and get Goretzka as well. We need a number 10 desperately. I mean, the fact that we missed Jesse Lingard says what our problems is. Lingard is a squad player, and we missed him tonight. Rashford and Martial, I think we need an experienced wide person. You cannot ignore January. You can't ignore January. This summer is a World Cup summer and it's a shortened transfer window. It closes in mid-August. We can't buy 5 players in the summer and get rid of 5. You've got to use January. Darmian and Blind should go in January. We'll get good money for them. And we need to bring at least 2 players in. We can't ignore it. We can't ignore it. The season's not a car crash. We are second in the league. We are progressing. Man City's juggernaut's unrealistic, amazing run is just... you can't do anything about that. You can do something about tonight. In the grand scheme of things, if we lose to Leicester, I think that's more significant. But it's disappointing to be out of a cup. Really disappointing to be out of a cup. And disappointing to go out deservedly to a better side. I think that is the argument. We had chances, and but their keeper saved it. What I would say is, it's very similar to the Bristol game. It's very, very similar to the Arsenal game for us, isn't it? We had the better chances. Their keeper made very good saves every time. Their keeper is a Bristol City player, as is David De Gea, a Manchester United player, when Arsenal were moaning. They paid to have that keeper in goal. He made them their saves. So you can't say, he made the saves. They scored the goals. They ran the midfield. Bristol City were the better side. Bristol City deserved to win that game. It's not lucky that they won it. They kept going to the 93rd minute. The last 3 minutes, I was like, bloody hell, get some men behind the ball. Bristol are going for it here. We didn't. We were just like wide open. Awful defensively. Where's the passion for Mourinho on the bench? I've just seen somebody just say there. Yeah, exactly. He just sits there looking miserable. In that last 3 minutes, he should have been shouting. We had nobody back. Just before that goal, if you watch it, Luke Shaw has to run across to make a tackle on one Bristol player and leave the player behind him because he's got a 2-1 situation. He intercepts that, and then further 3 seconds later, they go down the right and score anyway because nobody can be asked to track a runner into the box again. I mean, Mourinho should have been up. Where's my midfield? Where's the back 4? Where's the... this is Mourinho's strength. Strong defensively. Disappeared. We disintegrated when we're that close to extra time. I mean, I've just seen somebody sit there in the live comments say, do you think we threw the game on purpose because we didn't want extra time? Do you think we're in a position to be able to throw a game because we don't want extra time? I don't think we are. I think Mourinho would have wanted that. Like I say, the only slight positive I'd say is being out the League Cup is he can't use it as I've won a trophy. And I don't really... the League Cup, it was a nice... It's a nice to say we've won it, but come on, I mean, it's not a great trophy. It's not the FA Cup, and it's certainly not the Champions League or the Premier League. So, but Mourinho loves the League Cup. He would have wanted to win that. So to be knocked out of it is massively, massively embarrassing for United, and to do it so late on, really, really poor. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Silent Feety says, I said it, Mourinho is not for us because he's not bringing the passion to the club. We need some of our legends. What I'd say about that is that I'm massively worried about Zlatan. I don't think he's going to stay beyond the summer, but we're paying him £300,000 a week. There's no way he's not going to be involved between now and May. Where do you play him? If we play him as a number 9, we're going to have the same problem as we had today against Bristol, a Championship side, which is taking nothing away. They were the better team. But imagine playing against the Premier League side. They're just going to step up to the halfway line. We're not going to have any space, and we'll get squashed like we did tonight. Where do you fit Zlatan into that team? His lack of pace is a problem. I don't see where Zlatan fits into Manchester United, and that's the concern. I think he could fit into some teams, but United, I don't see where he fits in. He's got to play as a number 10. He's got the number 10 on his back, but has he got the mobility? He certainly hasn't got the mobility for a number 9. It is a worry. We've got to do some business. We've got to do some business in January. I wouldn't be going Mourinho out. I think that's just way... Look, we've been knocked out the League Cup away to a team in the Championship who scored a last-minute goal. They deserve to win it, but, these things happen. We've been beaten by MK Dons before. Sir Alex Ferguson's been beaten in cups. So the circumstances of it tactically worry me, and the circumstances in relation to our squad is massive, but it's got too many bottlers in it. But we're still second in the league comfortably. We can recover against Leicester and win that. We missed Valencia. We missed Matic. We missed Ashley Young. We missed not playing Lukaku to push their defence back for most of the game. So I'm not massively concerned, but I am massively concerned about the wider Manchester United squad. Both goals were preventable. How a left-back runs forward and scores like that, I'm just watching the goal now, is just ridiculous. Someone's got to go with the runner. Daley Blind can't be asked. McTominay's not picked him up. Rojo picks him up too late, and then the finish is fantastic from the lad, to be honest. But I just don't think we react quick enough. I don't think we react to the problem. The tactics were just slow. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Tyrone Williams says, do you think he'll scapegoat Luke Shaw again? I don't see how Luke Shaw's at fault. Both comes. You look at our team today as well, and I would say this as well. You look at our team today. You've got basically a triangle down the wings. You've got Darmian, McTominay, Rashford. You've got Shaw, Pogba, Martial. Both goals come down the right because that side is weak. The left-hand side, Luke Shaw very rarely got beyond Martial. Why? Whether that was design or lack of getting the ball down the left-hand side, I don't know. But Shaw, Martial and Pogba should be doing a lot better than that. And both goals come down the right. Both goals down the right. I would have got Mata on as well. They all look tired today, says Milan. I would bring Pereira back. I'd bring Fosu Mensah back. I think Pereira and Fosu Mensah would have been perfect for a game like that today. But ultimately, very, very, very disappointed with it. But not surprised. Bristol City were the best team. I've got to put my hands up. Better team. They went for it at the end. I don't know where our defence was. It was very, very poor defensively. But I think the whole game went against us because we played Zlatan as a number 9. And that just gave Bristol so much confidence from minute 1, playing such a high line. And when they win the ball, they're moving into our half on the attack every time. They're hardly having to do anything because they're winning the ball so high up the pitch because they're not scared. They're not being pushed back. Zlatan cannot play as a number 9. I'm not going to say he's finished. I think Zlatan just looks unfit at the moment. He's got a number 10 on his back. Play him as a number 10. You've got to have either Lukaku, Rashford or Martial playing on the last man to get the best out of Pogba and to force oppositions back. That's where we invited Bristol onto us by playing Zlatan and we paid the price. Individually, there were some bad performances. We should not be conceding those goals, but we made hard work of a game by giving Bristol an opportunity. And I know the Bristol City managers bought Jose an expensive bottle of wine, but I'm sure he won't be enjoying it. I'm sure he won't enjoy it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. And do please give us your comments below about what you thought about it. Because for me, I'm just watching the goal back again. So Shaw does really well to intercept 2-on-1. And then McTominay's header's soft. And then he lets the runner go as well. But Rojo gets caught on his feet. How do you end up in a one-on-one situation? McTominay's header's poor. He doesn't go with the runner. But the ball is too easy. Someone's got to track that run. McTominay should go with him. But Rojo should go with him as well. I mean, one-on-one. How do you get one-on-one in the last minute of the game? How do you end up? How do you fend so poorly that there's a one-on-one? Absolutely rubbish. Rubbish. I am going to congratulate Bristol City. What a night for them. Both their goals, they took them well. They were the better team and they won the game and they deserve it. But Manchester United allowed them to be the better team tactically, and some individual performances were just very, very naive. And back to the drawing board. Thanks everyone for watching. Back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. But not good enough. Not good enough. And tonight we take the L. We do. Speak to you all soon.